like now to present Dr. Rasem Badran for his keynote presentation. Dr. Rasem Badran graduated in architecture from West Germany in the late 1960s. During his study in Germany, he was very actively involved in the students' reform movements in the mid-60s in Europe, which influenced his innovative, critical, and futuristic approach to his design methodology. In the early 70s, he was involved professionally in many prestigious projects in West Germany, such as Munich Olympic Stadium, before he returned back to Jordan in 1970 to explore the hidden values of the local culture. Dr. Rasem is also a member of the International Academy of Architects, IAA. Also received several awards from the Arab Town Organization. Arab Town had several awards in Saudi Arabia. And he's also a juror in several topics. For example, there is the Hassan Fatmi Award, the Arab Town Award, as well as the award from the Institute of the Arab Award, the Monde Arab. Currently, Dr. Rasem is also the founder and partner of DAO, Dar al-Umran Architects and Planners, and he's also the advisor of the Badran Design Studios. He is also the author of several important books, as well as conducting several academic activities for students.
السلام عليكم. يعني بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I don't know in which language I have to give, in German or English or Arabic, but I will use all three languages. It depends on the subject. First of all, I'm happy that we are again back here together. I am happy that we met. I met old friends like Hans Kotte from Norway, and also our colleague Mohammed Kadam, who is now working with us as a consultant, as an expert, and also Muna. She worked with me also as a practitioner in the office. So I'm happy that we have the chance to get together, and also some colleagues from Stuttgart University. We met yesterday and we talked a lot about concern about academia and the future. No, I don't want to make it long. Fortunately, I forgot one of the subject. It was not transformed in the laptop, which is better, because sometimes I forgot myself and I talk hours and hours. So I try to limit myself to be really within 30 minutes to show some of the diverse experience. But first of all, I want to start my presentation by a subject called continuous dialogue, because we worked, in different areas, we worked in different domains. But I was concerned about the connectivity and communication between us and the others. So I want to show you very short about what I meant about continuous dialogue, about activities which support our visions and give more understanding to the community and even worldwide community, how we think, how we approach, how we think that the world becomes so small in a small village. So I have to mention my mistake with this laptop because I am very illiterate in this area. If I manage one of the activities is being permanent jury member in the Hassan Fatmi Awards for Excellence. Also my friend Svay Sajidin, we were being always discussing, starting in the 70s with the Arakan, about the concern about the Arakan Awards. And then with the very prominent architect, Rifat Al-Jaderji, he's an old friend also, and I used to have a lot of chance to meet him and to discuss about very serious issues. And I am happy that we met Professor Hamid Mosri in this occasion, because we were being together in that symposium or that conference, which was in the venue in the UNESCO in Paris. And I was lucky to have chance to discuss with Brahim Koni about detachment and fantasy, I mean, about the desert. So if we get more in the philosophy of place, how we envision from an understanding as a quite big from the lesson in German. التفكير من بعد like Edward Said. I mean, so this part of my how to be not to be suppressed by the material influence of the city or the physical influence of the city, to be far away from that event, and to use your fantasy, how you represent this kind of remembrance or dreams, like what happens with Rahim al-Kawani. And also with Adonis, we were talking about the variables and constant, متغير والثابت متغير in any culture. So I was lucky that I've been put in this discourse with thinkers, with philosophers, with writers, and not with architects. I hate architecture. Because sometimes, you want to show your muscles. I don't want to show any muscles. I want to get really in the crisis of artificial thinking worldwide. And lately I was also invited by the MTI in Cairo 6 months back in a conference called Cairo Egypt, and I was lucky to have a conversation with Jamal Ritami, he's a very well-known writer and novelist. And then now this is actually what they call how we've been working or contacting or being contacted with a society which give some boost for our culture. So now we get more now to the academia, and I did experiment with my son, architect Jamal, in the German Troll University. We did 2 months hard design course, and I think after that they haven't invited us back because they got scared about what we did. And this is actually a problem in academia, that sometimes you do things and you discover that third-class students are much better than those who've been working with us. They produce something which was never been expected even by the 5th year. So there's a problem, there's a question about academia. And we call it, this my son's slogan, Fragments of the Delirium, and I think we carry this kind of series of workshops in different areas. So just showing, it has to do with the city as a whole. I mean, how we capture the city like Amman by giving certain ideas about how we make this kind of nodes and then we did something which I think very important. We've been invited by Ajman University in UAE. They used actually to invite Frank Gehry, Peter Eisenman, and we've been one of these groups who've been invited, and we give them 5 days hardware physical workshop, and now there's a booklet being published. I hope that you will get it from there. They care for having this kind of discourse. This is the booklet of our design workshop. It was an urban, let's say, theme for the city of Ajman. How we understand the city from this level of interference. So and now they ask us to make something more. I've been also invited to Bombay, the Academy of Architecture and Art in Bombay, in India, and they give me 3 days time to talk about my experience, to interact with the students, and they asked me to draw a sketch during we've been traveling from hotel to the college. What I saw in Bombay, and I have to present this sketch in front of the students. So I draw this sketch within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then we discovered this was done from memory, and then the students knew the place, and they went back and they found that it was really there. I mean, so I was happy that in front of them I did this exercise, how you reinterpret cities to memories. I mean, not to be affected by the physical direct influence. which sometimes depress your mind and you lose a chance to use your fantasy. Same happened also in Jeddah with the women college. This was also very interesting. And then, okay, I have my book, maybe you know, which was published by Thames and Hudson, written by Professor James Steele from Southern California, and it's been awarded the gold medal. And then, very short, I was just saying that I've been within, let's say, context which has history. So here this was an exhibition which we did in Berlin, and then it was a touring exhibition, and then it went to Stuttgart, Darmstadt, talking about my father, myself, my sister, and my son, and my daughter. So I want just to go through quickly. This is my father's pamphlet or card. This is my card. This is my sister card. She has a lot of publications in very important books about her work as an artist. This is my son's work, and this is my daughter's work. She's now working in the theater design. This will be in touring, international touring display, which we play all over the world, and she designed the whole system of that. My wife thought about anthology of cities. I mean, this again. So we've been all, you know. I don't want to go. So just showing quickly this is the Stuttgart exhibition which we did in the TU in Stuttgart 7 years back. This is in Darmstadt, in Germany. This is in Berlin, in the Foreign Ministry, Auswärtiges. Yeah, just, I mean, between spiritual art and technology, where I am, I mean, in this, some of my sketches, I mean. Now I will go now to the subject which I think it has to do with how I look to the what happened nowadays. I mean, came after the Arab uprising. I mean, the spring phenomena. Just watching what happened, and I mean, even looking to the youngs who are in the cyber technology or cyber world. And then suffering from these investors, I mean, who spoiled our cities and made deals in our cost. I mean, we are the victims, and they are the people who are gaining money from their projects. And they don't think about the poor people. I mean, how they. This was actually what they call post-war art in Benghazi, because I've been invited to Libya after the revolution, and they asked me to give a lecture about. So this actually the young Benghazis, how they did what they call some kind of this art display from the wreckage of the military. It's funny how they I mean, this is part of the city life. I mean, how people are trying to discover. Now I go now to the subject which I call it urban threats and not urban threats. And really, when we look. I mean, just watching this image, we know that we are living in the urban threats. Imagine when the aeroplane, the roads are equal to the vehicle roads. This is the most criminal way of dealing with cities, and this happens all over the Arab world, especially the rich countries. And I blame the Western planners, big names I don't want to name, how they think about cities in our environment. And actually, so we have to pay the price for it, socially, culturally, and even the sense of this being detached from our soul, from our. This is what I'm asking after. I mean, these are some of my photos I did from the airplane when I was flying. I mean, talking about this kind of interrelationship, the siege. I know that we are between two different contradicting domains, the vehicle or the mechanized or the human domain. How we can you know, it's funny, I put these shots in Frankfurt. You see the bicycle, the car, and then the bicycle car with it was about eco awareness. I mean, just think about this in Morocco. This crowd of people, if they have cars, what happens? I mean, they have bicycles. So you have to build big cities of park lots to connect these cars. And every time when you have clients, they tell you, I want cities to have fast link connection between A and B or A and Z, regardless the people who are living around these traffic roads. So how fast we are in such cities? What are the limits? What are the visions to it? So because this will affect our if they sustain cities. I mean, you know, it's some kind of jokes, you know. I mean, sometimes I don't take it seriously. I mean, we artists are so when we are with the numbers, we don't know what happens actually on the ground. I mean, so I think this is very interesting. These are the dreams of this guy. Want to have a car, and the cameras become now as. I think this is the only way, the best way to do it everywhere in our cities. I mean, just now we come to the worst. Okay, now because we came from an area which is not like in Germany or mid-Europe, filled with forest. So we are desert culture. I mean, and how this desert culture transforms itself from nature to mechanized life. I mean, to machines like. So okay, it started by Waha, and then being ordered in a way which has no sense, no feeling, and these are the snakes which hit the city and I mean destroy any kind of social relationship and sense of community. I mean, imagine we are living as if you are living in a microchip. I mean, can you imagine what this means? That the air between the space between the building has no sense. I care for creating this public space which become the second house of the community. Forget about the solid one which becomes the private. I care for how we design the sky of the city between the houses, between the blocks. This was never been addressed by the most famous planners worldwide. And I say it frankly, this is really a problem. So we are living in a microchip. And look to this criminal way. This in Dubai, I mean, it's state-of-the-art city. I mean, it's catastrophic. Okay, this is the Midan Tahrir before the revolution. This was 1 week or 2 weeks. We talked about what happens with Egypt. So this was taken in the early morning from the Intercontinental. But it presents a lot of chaos. I mean, it's catastrophic to see cities in such cloud. We are living in machines. I mean, it's this is our. I mean, this is the way how cities being produced. We are living in a bottle. It's a shelf cities, and people are happy. I mean, decision makers, politicians, and we talk about spirituality to make this balance. There's no spirituality because the scale of it is that exceed the human perception. I don't want to say where it is, but I tell you know it. I mean, when it ends up by having Big Ben and Mecca, I mean, so, you know, the language shows a lot of meaning. I mean, we lost the meaning of languages, you know, and so people are grown up in such cities. I mean, They don't know about the culture, and this actually is unsustained system. There is no sustainability between generations. I mean, when I show it to Saudis, they get angry because I am also very heavily involved in Saudi Arabia. I mean, but I have to show it to them, and I have to be very honest. I don't want to be shy. I mean, imagine when you look to Baghdad and Mosul, it's a military city, become a metaphor for cities once a time in one of the Gulf countries. And I was happy that this economic crisis happened because I was the most lucky person in the world when it happened. Because it had, كان لك في دمار في الحمد لله. This was, we've been rescued through this. Imagine this is Beirut, this is Cairo, we're in Dubai. I mean. Then I know it's nuclear. This it's called the city of wealth, and this pollution in mind. I mean, this mind pollution. Yeah. This is the petro money. What they. The urban farm. I mean, look to the it's alien, it's living in nowhere. Now compare this one with Maxi. It's the most beautiful, I think you know it, in Alexandria. It was awarded also the Hasbatha Award, and many people came from all over European countries to watch, and it's an interactive spine between the people and the Tijara and Bahar. Just to learn from the past, I mean, in the ecosystem here, you see all public spaces are protected through the sun, having shade, people can sit, can use this kind of, there's a balance between the solid and void, and most cities now, in our routine time, there's no balance. When you look from the plane, before this landing to airport, Cairo airport, I was really shocked about the there's no feeling about the open space between the building. It's just, like transistors. I mean, and people are living in these transistors, and the mind become being spoiled and being killed. I mean, so that's why we can do nothing, because we've been being grown up in such polluted environments, physically. Recently, I was in Barcelona, and I was looking to Gaudi, Sagrada Familia. I think it has something to do with how he cast nature to structure. I mean, just my own, let's say, correlation between nature and even when you are flying over Jordan, you see this kind of what they call southern Jordan land, which is like marble. I mean, marble has also so why don't land from this kind of, you have it, you just look at it, understand it. You don't need to read books and theories. I mean, this nonsense, it's nothing. Okay, this is one of my work in Mecca, but was never been built. I mean, I will get later to it. Just comparison between the La Fuya. This is some of my work in Mecca. This is another. He did it by his own. I mean, there's logic, there's graphic, and this is one of my work in proposals. Actually, I did a lot of proposals. Was never been built, and because we have problem in the decision makers. So now I want to go now to the practice. I mean, I think I still the time, still there's time. I want to talk about the real experience, because I think it's a unique one. It's unprecedented, because I worked with Riyadh since 1985 till now with the same client in different stages. I want to go through it so that you see how you can improve the quality of urbanity. And usually when I talk about event, I will mention, I will emphasize on the micro-urban as well as the macro-urban. The micro-urban is the building itself becomes a city. No, sorry. So Riyadh, actually, I want to show you the. So here you can see the work which was started in 1985 till 90. This is the downtown Riyadh, the Grand Mosque with just palace, and with the Grand Souk, which we did it with Dr. Halim, Ibrahim Halim. It was one of the best time we spent together working as one team. And then here we talk about, this was awarded the American Award. And here there's another work which is actually the religious and political and also some kind of commercial. Now we moved to another place which was also part of the old Riyadh. I am fortunate that I was part of this kind of interference. This is the King Abdulaziz Center or Cultural Center, which includes museums and a lot of. And here we dealt with Richard Poedica. His landscape. He's a very old friend of mine. I met him in the time of Munich when I was involved in the Munich Olympic Stadium. So we met there. Maybe we were young, but I think it was one of the chance that warrant how we get together after a long time. So this work was also awarded an international award in America. I will show it to you later. So we are talking about now between two projects. Now in between there's now a huge, as if you are talking about two nodes, two what they call it, anchors, and then between them is now a gradual growth of that part, how they can be being developed to a different project, so that you create a spine in the city. And I found Riyadh, it's been imposed in the desert, because I thought maybe the capital of Saudi Arabia must be somewhere in the area, in the mountain there, which we have better weather, but you are getting inside the Sahara and desert and building a city. Now the city become ecologically very, very well oriented, and here you can see this is vertical work. It is the highway which was nominated for the Arkan Award. Imagine when you talk about a street, a highway street, a ring road become a matter for prize. I mean, it's very important. Look what happens now in Cairo when you look to these big snakes about the city. No sense, no scale, no. Here you are talking about gardens, about Wah as a highway, and it's worth to visit it. I mean, when you go to Riyadh, especially this area here. So you're all green, as if you are inside. You humanize what they call it the vehicle domain to become more and more interactive with the city, and not like a runway. And then the third work, which I've been till now working with, it's the Iya. It's an old ancient city which become now a living museum. And here we have a huge development, and the Iya is part of Wadi Hanif, which was awarded the Arkan Award. So I am now involved in this. So it's really funny when you starting to talk about 1984 till now that we are working with the same client, and every time we create the different hypotheses about the city and how we can make city more be aware about the people, how we can be aware about their city, how they can love their city, and city become it has a statement, not just not by building icons, nor by having this kind of sociability of the city, because most of our cities are not social. I mean, it's functional. You put people like mouses in these boxes, I mean, or these bottles, these perfume bottles. What I showed you previously. So these three pictures I did once 25 years back when I visited Riyadh. I don't know that I have to do my that I've been working with these projects till now. I mean, this was actually the area of the Grand Mosque and Just Palace, which awarded the Arkan Award, and this become The other castle, fortress, which was a political building, and transformed to be the grand or the big Urbanism center, and this is the area which become now a very, and this work which are doing now in that area, the client want to nominate for another American award. By the way, the Riyadh Development Authority, which we've been working with, is the only authority in the Arab world or in the third world which has gained no more than 5 Arkan awards. I mean, it's incredible how because they have the concept of and I think the politicians, Prince Salman, who was in that time head of that now he's not Crown Prince, he is a very modest man. He is care about how we can understand the history of the city or a nation. And I think to acknowledge that this Riyadh Development Authority gained 5 prizes, Arkan Award prizes, this has to be really always to learn from them how they can manage city culturally and socially and ecologically. So I want to get to the Grand Mosque in Riyadh, and maybe some of you know about this work was published, but here let's show you about the sociability of the place. I mean, how we can transform this picture to a mass which can sustain this kind of social relationship between the mosque and the prize was given to the mosque not because of the mosque, because it's social context, which the client had it in his agenda. And I'm happy that I'm working with a very enlightened client who is aware about his responsibility about a city which can survive, which can last. So we transform this, how you read the picture and try to create what they call it inap, what they call it an envelope which can contain this kind of social interaction between the building and all the community. So, okay, I did sketches. These are some of my sketches, or not sketches, about awareness about the contextuality of the mosque. I don't want to look to the mosque as a temple. It has to intermingle in the city fabric. It has to disappear. Like when you go to for example, in Fars, Qawi Mosque, you don't see the mosque. Suddenly you discover it. So showing, and here I think we have interfered. Usually I sometimes ايش ما تخالف I don't obey to the competition's rules. Sometimes I do something for my own assessment, and sometimes it's dangerous. In this project we have added the skin, intermediate skin between the mosque and the urban fabric as infill. This was not mentioned in the brief, and the client liked the idea. Now, who was, in that time, it was an international competition, Bofil, Venturi, and others who have been participating in that. They stick themselves to the program. I have violated the program and did my own program. And I think this is actually one of the ideas, how to be aware about your responsibility to the society, not because of the current one is the mosque. The mosque has to be seen in different you change the title of the mosque, Taghyir al-Anwan, to change the understanding of the mosque, to be the other mosque, which we think that it's appropriate for our time. And this gives the sustainability of anything. So here showing you exactly, so my awareness was about the infill, not the mosque itself. And because of infill, the project has awarded the Arkan continuously, without any. And Charles Jenkins was in that time was jury, and he told me that he did something very important. That okay, I don't want to go to the details about the ecology, about the climate. But here it's a city, it's not a mosque. And when the reviewers came to look they asked me, it's funny that you don't see the mosque. Okay, cement, but you don't see the body of the mosque with the arches. So you are building a new city as reference for the future development of that road. And really people are influenced by so the mosque becomes like a teaching element, how you can build your city, not just to put as stated like what happens in Abu Dhabi. it's a shame to have mosque like she's there. I mean. And the Western came and, fine, it's not Islam, it's against Islam. I showed it in my slides before. This is the city skin of an urban, how it interact with the sun. And now, how architecture can change the moods of people, the behavior of people. And this is what actually our concern, that the urban fabric can change the people's behavior, people's behavior pattern. And we succeed in giving this space in front of the mosque. It becomes the most effective and most, let's say, visit place in Friday. So people make the picnic there. There's a program for Seri, for like Monday, souks, and etc. So here we can say that architecture can change and not become responding to something existing. So you have to be a thinker, you have to be a Christian, you have to be not just an architect building houses with building walls and even people start laughing. I mean, good to see to give him place to his human quality. I mean, this is the meaning of urbanity, to measure, to explore the quality of people, not just to put them in like rats in these cells. And people are very clever. I mean, look, they can discover better than us. I mean, they discover the way how to put their shoes. And some you they make poster out of it. So this becomes, what they call the communicability of building to the society, or the communicability of the urbanity to the society. We lost it in the last 10 years in this economic boom. Look what happens in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. It's criminal what's going there. That's why people don't like me there. I mean, but I say it to them. Look, I mean, Afro, it's very, 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 it's a space. Let him use it. This is in Saida, in Lebanon, and this is in Riyadh. Before they pray, after they pray, because the mosque become a macro city. So people are walking between the streets till they don't reach a portal, like as if you are living in the Taj Mahal. No, just humble, you go through it. If you don't pray, okay, don't need to pray. You can sit, you can walk, you can buy something, you can. So you give them space to enjoy this open space. I mean, this becomes their next living space. Not the house itself, okay, they sleep, they eat, but the city air becomes the other salon for people. After they pray, they sit, like what happens, for example, in Jerusalem, in Aqsa Mosque, is in Riyadh. The same pattern is now being produced, because the fabric, the morphology help you to behave like this. It's not just pay and get back, go back. Now, just this is a small presentation about the work which was never been presented. This is just for us, which is the political, let's say, building. It's a city within the city. Because it's political, we can't even publish it. But I think it's phenomenal, because when you go there, you think that's what it was being built now. So it was built in 1987 or something like that. So it has some kind of ecological assessment by this water streams, because the weather in Riyadh is very, very dry. So people are living in this space feel very comfortable, less cooling. It's like city wall, I mean, in a way. Here, these are the water streams between the building. And then there's another small rural mosque which has to do also with the rural urbanity. It becomes like a small city. It's not a mosque. But I just want to skip it because it's not. Now, we did in Riyadh something which I think was phenomenal, because it showed you how we tried to, through a client which was aware about the urbanity in the city. So this was actually a project which was done jointly by Dr. Halim al-Qahira He's a very dear friend. He's a very prominent professor, thinker, and I admire him a lot. So this work was built in Riyadh, and we used this ecological system, this passive energy concept, by having this nature cooling for the roads, and people, when they walk, they enjoy the coolness, especially in Riyadh, which has a very hot and very, it's like an open but dry. So that's why using this kind of cooling tower. So this actually so we talk about shades, how we create to shade livable space for the public, because we care for having this kind of the other domain, the public one, the open one, how they can become like a salon for all the community, so people can sit together and we worked with Arizona University for having done ecological model about the sun, about the heat, and these are the air cooling. It's the only air cooling system ever done in the Gulf. We haven't publicized it, but I think till now it's working, and you feel the cool air coming just smooth without having any kind of not influenced by this period and this let's say artificial cooling. Now the other project, which I think this is very important to say something about this project. This is the biggest museum now in the Gulf area till now, which is in Saudi Arabia. It was being awarded the International Award for Livable Community. It's an American award, and we are happy that we have to get this recognition now worldwide. It's not the Arkan, it's now for because you know why? Because we changed the idea of this museum. When it was a competition, they invited very big names. I don't want to name the company, and they invite us, me and with the guy from MIT, to be as juror. We spent for 4 projects 1 week. We couldn't find anything worth to be awarded. So we told the client, look, what you have, okay, but it has nothing to do with what we think that it's appropriate. So he asked us to with Ali Shaibi, also a fellow, Saudi fellow, who won also an Arkan Award in one of his projects in Riyadh, to do in 2 days session the concept for such a museum. So we did the city, not a museum. And really, when you go now to that part, to this complex, you don't need to visit the different museums. You enjoy the public space. The city, Richard Burdiger had done a lot of excellent work in that city, and I think it was awarded also as a garden or landscape. So you can see the immense, and in Friday it's full with people. This actually the whole. We did actually the master plan for the whole concept, and then they divided in 3 pieces. So they give me the medium one, which is the political and the educational one, and we get the Japanese Canadian architect Toshio Moriyama to do this job, and the Saudi architect Aisha did the mud houses to be seen as Folks Museum. So this actually become a city. When you go there Friday, you don't need even to visit the museum. People are spending most of their time in these gardens. There's private gardens, you will see it now later, which we designed it, and then the public, which was designed by Richard Burdiger. For them, it was not the museum, it was to enjoy the open space, to communicate with others. And I think this becomes part of the history as well as the Grand Mosque. Now, everybody who is coming to visit the kingdom, first of all, they show the Grand Mosque with just first, and they show them as next project this one. As if saying that this actually concept of sustainability, it's become part of the national pride. They can't just, because most of the building which we build now in the area, it has like the expiry date. After 20 years, you have to knock like what happens in Mecca now. It's a shame to say that after 20 years, they knock all these buildings to build new building. Why are we building now? Because you lose the memory of place, you lose the contact of place, the place becomes for you nothing. So you become just, insan غلام, like you are now. So here you see this is one of my sketches, showing you the surrounding, and this is actually the site. So the site it responds to the existing fabric. It improves it, it makes some kind of progress, it gives it other meaning. Because these are vehicle roads, these are pedestrian roads. So we are talking about pedestrian culture, how we can, and then talk about ecology, about courtyards, so you get cool air and air, because Riyadh is the best place to deal with ecology, because it has a huge, very hot, dry climate, so you can use the water, you can create a lot of things. So this is actually the pedestrian domain. It's about 800 meters long, but you don't feel it when you're walking. And this is the green treatment of that, and this is actually the outcome of the whole thing. And then, okay, let's show you our part, which we did it. So this is the whole museum now, and now we have another additions which become a school for women. So it's good to have a city which grows within 10 years. Yeah, okay. So I have to. So this is actually showing some sketches of how the building becomes a city. Even talk about the shade, about the shadow, art of shading, how you shade it, take it from past as a reference, and this is one of the shading devices where you're walking inside, and you get very nice air breeze. Using the internal courtyards as a museum, we worked with the Canadian firm, but we did the environment for such museums. And there's still till now we have annex, or additions. So you are building a city with time. It's not just a building within 2 years. And now this is actually the thing which I like to and I think we'll stop because I want to show you other work, but I think it's, maybe I'll show you something about elemental, because we did enjoy something very important. This is what they call it, the central area in the Riyadh, which was awarded actually as Wadi Khalifa, the Akhir Award. Now this became the first urban projects being developed, and the client want to nominate for another Akhir Award. So I want to show you this scenery of the old city, which become a living museum. It's very important, to live this place. Sometimes I like this one, is how the Riyadh authority, which we working with them since 20 years, how they always they want to they are very modest and they are very keen about the city. And this is what we need, people who love this city. So here you can see the old city, and this is our place of interference. I want to show it just quickly because I think, so here the city, how we analyze the city, I will try to apply for it a concept which responds to the sensitivity and as if it's been expanded, and to understand the pedestrian moods, behavior. So it's so the most important part about this Islamic library, it's like around a mosque. So we did it, and this is actually the concept of it. So, and after it's been built, now there's a problem that many institutions want to take it. Because they found it very interesting how things being developed in this. So the idea was to actually to create understanding from the past experience how you get in open space, people can walk, can sit and look towards the old city. So this becomes like a walking roof, and I was surprised that many students and misters in Riyadh want to take it for them. They like the idea. And this project, this is actually the whole development which we did now in different stages. They want to submit it for the coming Akhir Awards under a title. I don't know what we have to think about. So it reminds me on the Alexandria Okay. Science Oasis I did with Abdul Halim. This is actually one of the projects which it's a mad project. We did 20 and 15 years back. Okay. Now, I want just to show you very about houses because it has to do with just 3 shots. Yeah. Actually, I want to show you more about Mecca. I think it's awesome. Now, in 1972, I was invited. We have such a small office, and we've been invited to a European context called elemental housing, and we won the first prize, and it was being built. It has some kind of sense of urbanity. It was built. It was published in Bowrell. So it's a composite structure between concrete, prefabricated, and plastic service system, bath and kitchen, and then metal skin as an outer skin. So these are some of my sketches. I mean, about how we try to, to create some kind of we enjoyed it actually, and that's why we got the first prize. It was built. It was very expensive. So they will not release it again. But I mean, it was this moment of madness. Everyone wanted to try. Everyone to. The other work was in the cement factory housing. This is very important. And maybe the Sana'a structure. It is a big story, but we have time now to talk about it. And then Kuwait also. It's another which has to do with my diploma, because when I did this work, I got the highest mark in the history of the Teha. But I mean, for them it was published in Octobre, the French magazine, in 1972. For them it was a shock, but it was really they liked it. I mean, and so I was asked to build something that has to do with the ecology, with the sun cells, and to make this kind of climatic city in Kuwait. And then the last thing is Beirut. Maybe you can visit this work now. I hope that it will be finished. It's already there. I was the only Arab to be invited from Lebanese to do something in Beirut, which I found interesting. Yeah. So we have to create some kind of micro-urban society. This is the work actually. It has to do with tradition, but in the way it's contemporary. I mean, and this actually does study about. I did it about how I understand cities from different layers through history. And I think I have to finish it first. Yeah, that was finished. So short because you don't get bored from Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, for this very inspiring presentation. And well, we're running a little bit late for the coffee break, and maybe we can go for some questions now, and then later the coffee can wait. So, I know there are many questions, comments, ideas.
Thanks, Doctor, for the interesting presentation and sharing your thoughts. I will go back to the governance issues that we discussed earlier in the presentation. In light of the various challenges that are hindering the development of the Arab cities or Arab countries in general, such as unplanned rapid growth, economic recession, informal settlements, and even inefficient public transportation. In your opinion, which are the most important challenges that must be given priority to be addressed in our present time? My second point is concerning the neoliberal policies that are being adopted by most Arab governments. For example, the new market economic strategy. We can see now that these governments are starting to take a role of a facilitator for the foreign investors to actually play their or to ease their work in our markets. While in other parts of the world, you can see that governments take a stronghold position to actually control and manipulate any interventions by investors in their national markets. According to our talk yesterday, you've been in Germany a couple of days ago. I wonder if you've heard of the plan of the German government to introduce 1 million electric cars into the German market. But this plan was later altered due to the discovery of defaults in the engines of these cars. Such a position or different conduct of governance, which would you think would be most beneficial to development in our part of the world? Thank you.
I went the first one because I was thinking about
the various challenges, and in your opinion, which are the priorities to be dealt and addressed?
Yeah. You know, I mean, Sharia of the poverty in urbanity and urban land that till now we haven't got the right to how we can communicate with the people. I mean, it's actually one of the, and I was, one of the presentation was I want to show what was about Saida, about Beirut, about Saida. We did inquire through the students. I mean, that young students, the kids, have to participate in the city understanding, and it was amazing. It was remarkable, and these young kids, guys, now they grow up and become part of the council for advising how Saida can be developed. Instead of hiring experts from abroad, no, they have, because they know the secret of the city. So I think the mechanism of the global city has to be changed. I mean, this actually in general I want to say. جواب على سؤالك ولا؟ بس مش سامع الصوت. Yeah, the most important issue to be addressed is to when you are building cities or developing cities or even make infill, to look back to the city as runs between the functional part, which is the solid part, which is also important, the private and the public. I mean, so and the public has to be seen as a place which has to be treated by giving through the morphology of these masses to create a livable space. And I don't want to get to talk about, because then from the past, I mean, go to the class, go to Morocco, but you find, I mean, how these open spaces, because they've been contained within the fabric. Don't look to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or even Cairo and some of the huge developments which have been done. Even when we talk about high-rise building I mean, there must be a story about high-rise buildings, how we classify this kind of vertical growth to give it a meaning. I mean, I remember once I've been invited by Amar, by Abbar, who was the one who was responsible for the whole Dubai projects, to invite me to humanize or to Islamize some of the first 6 towers being built in Dubai. And I told them, what's the meaning of Islamizing? I mean, you want to have architecture. No, I told them, okay, you have to forget about these towers, make it in process, like in Yemen. The base become the base which communicate with people. And then the other part, maybe you can make a garden and then try to make transformation between the base and something coming later on. We did that, and we gave us a chance to work 2 weeks on Dubai. And the result was incredible, but the contractor has started digging the foundation, and they asked us to change the project. And then the consultant, who is a very well-known American firm, asked $5 million to change. I mean, it's so he told me, Rasem, sorry, we can't do that. But I think it's the figure of the idea it was how to make the space human towards the people who own this open space. This open space, it's for all of us. It's not a house. It's not, okay, you have the house which creates a family, which has a little of privacy, but it's good to have this kind of dialogue between the private and the public. Not the public as roads, the public as another saloon. Midan Tahrir become for me, I have another position about Midan Tahrir as a parliament, as a school, as a church, as a mosque. So this public space has to be seen as the other house for the community, to build this communal feeling beside the micro community, which is the family. So this balance between the micro and the macro, it creates this kind of sustainability. But if the micro become again neglected, and the city has put them aside, so the city will not survive, will not sustain. It become like cartoon city. People can sit for a while and then move to another way, to other place. I always talk about, I was talking with Jamal about the eye of the city, Ayn al-Madina, because when the city has to do something with you, then it sort of watch you, so you're being watched from the city, from the community. It changes your behavior, it changes your nowadays we are living with any city, nobody watches you, nobody يحاسبك أو يقول لك BTA. And that's why I think in the academia we have to think about not humanity as figures, as numbers, but think about the quality of in between everything. Go to Sana'a. You don't need to have theories. Feel the space. And I think it's not of feeling, I feel. If you have it, you have it خلاص ما تعملها بس كيف ما أعرف وقع سؤالي البعض الثاني وقت مش سمعت for investors. I am against from the beginning of having foreign investors. Because you know why? I show you in the research these two guys who are sitting in the VIP lounge and I'm talking about business, they want to make projects. Not for the sake of you, because they want to get money, and that's it. It has to be an investor within the strategy, not somebody coming out from outside to invest. Why do you want to invest? Because you want to get money only. You don't care about you or so make it from inside, from within. And this actually meaning of thorough. It has to be from the ground, not from people coming in jet planes and having Samsonite and not to do project. We want to help you, no, this is nonsense. It's all, at the end, it will represent itself in the way how the things become appear later on when they rebuild it. Look, in Cairo we have now, I know that some petrol money came from outside. We want to build hotels, huge building. He don't care for maintaining the city culture. He maintains to get money in his pocket. This is the only thing. Money don't لا ترحم ايش اسمها ايش ترحم بالانجليزي no mercy. The most criminal tool is the money. That's why sometimes I feel when I go to the village, people are so refined, so sensitive, so they are poets. Cities are criminals. We are living within criminals. Don't tell me about business. That's why I am happy that I haven't got any work with investors to all my life, and through the economic boom I have got any job. I'm proud that I am not the one who's been labeled to. This guy was being raised by in the period of the boom where they got bombs. That's why I feel peace with myself. And sometimes we are spoiling the whole. We are pollution. We are polluting the culture because we don't have money, and because of these poor people who have nothing to do. So it's بعرفش تقول فعلا.
Okay, well, Thank you for this very elaborated answer. Can't see anything. I don't know, maybe we just have one more question and then we go for the break. Because we have still a long schedule today. And we can still have, at the end of the day, there is one round of discussion, so we can raise further questions. That's the question.
Okay, first, really, I like the work that you have presented, and as long as I've been inspired and had a really deep looking into this working that you have, and especially in my previous projects when I was a student. But I was wondering, you mentioned that you have this concept of sustainability, or you want to make something related to the environment that is built on it. I'm wondering how far, like if it's depending on like natural ventilation, natural lighting, and these issues, is it really like energy, having less energy consumption? And is there any kind of assessment for that? Like roughly assessments, like how far it's reducing the energy consumption for these buildings? And then if the answer is yes, like what tools or what manuals that you return back so that you can really achieve the right ratios for these buildings in order to achieve this issue?
Well, I mean, we talk about energy saving or awareness about being energy aware mind. Because I'm working with the urban configuration, it's not the buildings, or the building itself in micro-urban. When you go to a small, I have actually within houses, I missed the showing you that the house itself will become micro-urban. And really go back to Hassan Fathi's concept of open spaces, the courtyards, the flow of air, how you choose north, south, or east, west. So it has to do with how to be more cosmic, I mean, to understand the cosmic behavior, and then you can design your house become as a structure which can live within itself without having. Maybe you need some kind of cooling, let's say, device, but it's not depending fully on the cooling domain. The house itself has to be the machine where you can cool air the relation between spaces, between hot courtyards, cool courtyards, how you create this air velocity. So it has to do with, and I think you have to learn from previous work done by Hassan Fathi, and even when you go to old Cairo, to the old houses, you go there, you feel comfortable, you feel some kind of, there's a level of comfort when you get inside the courtyard, the height of it, the air, how to go through it. I remember once when I was being invited to, before the 25th January Revolution, I was invited 1 month before in Cairo during the Arab Housing Minister Conference, and I also was one who led this symposium, and they asked me to talk about so they invite some experts to think about green building and grading, and they tell you, okay, we have green card and evaluation and silver and gold. I told them that American Express, I mean, how you get to talk about green like in Visa card or the MasterCard? I mean, look to your local let's say, portfolio, I mean, cities. You find a lot of awareness about how people could find, let's say, device through the building itself to create this kind of a microclimate awareness. And you have to have a feeling, you have to get feeling between the mass and soil, feeling. This is there. And usually, I saw many courses through my son Jamal when we work with the students. They don't feel the proportion between the mass and voids. And the variety of void, how you get through the variety of void, mass, air velocity, like a challenge. So you get, and when you go to Old Tunis, when you go to Algeria, go through these kind of settlements and you enjoy it. Although it's very hot, but you don't feel that the heat without having any food. So you have the model, learn from it. Don't look to books. Now, I get mad actually. I found you have treasure in your culture. Learn from it. Not copy it. Learn this essential, because people at that time they want to survive. They could survive. Go to Abu Dhabi. Look to the Badhiya, which it's like a fan, which give you this. Because when you switch, you need air. You don't need cool. You need air to make this vibration. You have a microphone in the skin. This is enough. And when you talk to the Dubai people, they laugh. I mean, but now look what they are doing now. They are building now orphans. I mean, yeah.
Thank you so much for this big session, and I think we can take the discussion later for during coffee or over lunch with Dr. Rasem who stayed with us.
كيف انه يعني احنا عايشين عصر الظلمات، كيف عصر الظلمات يعني the age of what we call it. You know, I want to do something very funny. Because I have to show you the Mecca project. I was invited to as a jury member with the head of the School of Architecture in MIT and Harvard, both. So we were three. And Prince Salman asked Rasem Badran to be a jury member for one of these projects in Mecca. It's a huge urban development. And so they give us, they make us the best host ever. You can deal in Riyadh, the best hotel, and they put maybe more than 8 projects, well paid. It's, I think, for 500,000 inhabitants. It's a huge development. So I went there, and suddenly I saw something which I liked. So I told the MIT guy there, look, I found this the only. He told me, Rasem, don't touch us, don't push us, let us think about it. Okay? The same happened with the Harvard one, but now we become very close friends. Rasem, you are very pushy. Okay, I felt it that this is what we need. You know what happens that it's a high-rise building. It's more than 50 floor high, jungle of, like Irsamuha, toothpicks. Yeah, okay. Now I give them time. I don't use my mind because I know that this is the one which you have to choose. I have to choose them that this is one which we need. It's funny that during the 5 days, after the second day, a messenger came from Prince Salman. He told us, please choose something so that after my die, people will not pray and against me. It's very important. He told us indirectly, choose something which is appropriate for Mecca. Don't let people after I die say that Prince Salman was the guy who did this kind of mess. We choose a project which has half capacity of square meter than the others. And they were small, young German people. They did very interesting. I have it in my laptop. It's so incredible when you look at it, as if you are saying this is new Mecca, which we need, with the fabric, with the portion between the whole. So the other counter model, which was huge, done by Foster, he proposed a double capacity. You want to increase to say that this is the city of the future. So you are dreaming. What you are talking about? So really, you are suffering from these big names sometimes, and they cheat us and they put us in a very, very, very devastated environment. So I was happy that these unknown young people, but I discovered them after that they are working with the Audi technology. They have very, but when you look to the proposal, as if we are doing it, as if I am doing it. It's really this is my other phase I found in their work. So you find in Europe some very unknown groups who are very sensitive, who are very aware. They don't look to this kind of Singapore or Hong Kong metaphor or like Star Arts. I don't want to measured name. But I think this actually what it has to do with the politicians. When the politician is aware about this culture, it will make a lot of sense. We need politicians who are aware of it. You know, once I was talking about some friends, yeah, at the